YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel, bringing you another article for the housing crisis. This is a good one. This one is by popular demand. Someone asked me, requested for me to read this to you guys, so you guys can comment below and open discussion on what's going on, the hottest topic. And when I look at housing prices in an international level, you see very little coverage or very little discussion of the average Joe just talking about housing, which is really bizarre because the overinflated prices of what houses are worth and what people would buy them for. It's bizarre, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, I did pick up my house. I'm really happy. I'm doing the painting and doing a bit of renos, kitchen work, redoing some of the cabinets and stuff before I move my family in. Look at some of my previous videos. I'm very, very happy, very grateful. And yeah, I'm just moving forward in life, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, the article is really good. It's by Tyler Durden. Tyler Durden it's a fictional reporter, but it's a real person. Tyler Durden is from, basically, if you remember the TV show Fight Club. But he puts up really controversial stories that other news sources don't want to touch. So this was sent to me by popular demand. So here goes, people. China suffers largest capital outflow on record in 2016, and it's about to get worse. With the yuan suffering from its largest annual decline ever, and avenues for capital flights surging in value, Vancouver homes and virtual currencies, it is perhaps not entirely shocking that, according to the Institute of International Finance, capital outflows from China surged last year to a record $725 billion, almost a trillion, $725 billion. Furthermore, IIF warns outflows could accelerate further if U.S. face political pressure to repatriate profits. So what's happening is it's very simple. China's wealth is leaving its country. I'm not sure if people are having troubles trusting the government. I'm not sure if people trust keeping their money in their own country. I don't know. So what's happening is people are parking money all over the world. So let's continue. I mean, I'm going to be really, really, really upfront with you guys too. I would do the same thing too. If I was in a situation where I wasn't trusting my government or I wasn't secure with my holdings or my earnings, I would park it in another country, either in investments, stocks, bonds, real estate, land, something that I could just sit on for a while and park the money. So that's something I definitely would do myself, you know, if I was in that position. So let's continue here. As Reuters reports, the Washington, D.C.-based group, one of the most authoritative trackers of capital movement in and out of the developing world, estimates net Chinese outflows last year were 50 billion higher than 2015, dwarfing the inflows of emerging economies received. Net outflow in 2014 had been just 160 billion from China, which has seen capital flight pick up in the past couple of years from local businesses and households, partly on expectations that the yuan would weaken against the dollar. The outflows, which caused a 320 billion decline last year in Chinese foreign exchange reserves, has prompted authorities to strengthen and capital curbs. So remember that article I read a couple of weeks back, how China is tightening the noose on and making it stricter for people to pull money out of the country, because the country's wealth is leaving. And if the country wealth, obviously, I don't have to get into this for you guys, but you guys know that, okay? That's been happening now for a while. The yuan fell 6.5% against the dollar last year, the biggest ever yearly fall, and with the capital controls or suggestions of them being implemented almost weekly, here, and here most recently. That's in brackets. It is perhaps not a surprise that Bitcoin, one escape value, has been a resurgent in the last few days amid Golden Week holiday celebrations. So it's pretty cool how Bitcoin. I did an article about that a few weeks ago too. If you guys remember when I said Bitcoin's taking off, it's looking powerful. Things are looking really good for Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin doubled its value in a couple of weeks. You know, like literally. It went up some crazy 2,000%, like crazy percentage in the last couple of weeks. As Reuters continues, the IIF estimated China outflows at heavy $95 billion in December and noted the rise of protectionism, especially in the United States after after the election of President Donald Trump could exacerbate the situation. Trump and his top advisor this week criticized Germany, Japan, and China, saying that the three key U.S. trading partners were devaluing their currencies to determined of the U.S. companies and consumers. And in quotations, it says, if U.S.-based multinational corporations start to repatriate their profits from China, outflows could worsen further in 2017. The IIF said that referring to pledges of tax breaks to U.S. firms that bring overseas profits back to the country. But excluding China, the picture for emerging markets appeared brighter. The IIF said that net capital inflows last year had amounted to $192 billion versus $123 billion in 2015. In January, inflows into the stocks and bonds of a group of big emerging economies stood at a 5-month high at $12.3 billion, the group added. January was a much better month for emerging markets, but it's too early to tell if this reflects hope for a better outlook, or this is just an eye of the storm. Hurricane. The capital exodus from China, however, dominates the picture. The IIF last November forecasted the developing world would suffer net capital outflows of $206 billion in 2017, with the vast majority accounted for by China. So it's really hard for me to leave a link for this article. I'm going to see if I'm using my mom's phone, if I can message it on Facebook and then cut the link and leave it below in the thing. It's really easy to find. Just type in Zero Hedge, China suffers largest capital outflow on record in 2016. And it's by Tyler Durden, and it's got almost no shares. It's got 80 shares with 35 million people living in Canada. I'm really surprised that things only got 80 shares. So get this out, get people, it creates some sort of awareness, you know what I'm saying? I think from my point of view, on my opinion on this, I think it's a little bit too late for China to save its wealth that's left. There are, obviously, the government now is putting in a protective measure now because they're starting to realize. But why didn't the advisors, because the Chinese are very smart when it comes to numbers. They're very on the ball when it comes to financing. They're very on the ball when it comes to savings. And they're very on the ball when it comes to like long-term preparation. I don't understand how the Chinese government's advisors, right? I'm not talking about the government like the main guy. The main guy is just there to shake hands and go on meetings. But the guys behind it, why didn't they advise the president or the higher level treasury departments like, hey, our wealth is just pouring out of the country. You know what I'm saying? The U.S., I mean, another country where a lot of wealth is leaving is like countries like, I know, Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of wealth leaving Saudi Arabia, immigrating to other countries. Another country that I know that was for a little while was Angola. A lot of very wealthy Portuguese and Brazilians living in Angola. Now the politics there are getting out of control. So a lot of people are pulling their wealth out of Angola, and it's depreciating their currency too. What else? Who else has been finding depreciation of wealth? But the English-speaking, a majority of the English-speaking countries, the wealth is coming into them, like London, every country where you got this boom, this housing boom, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, not really South Africa, but the United States, and not really the United States, but mostly Canada. A lot of foreign investors trust the governments here more to park their money. Anyways, I don't know. I'm not gonna keep talking. I'm talking too much. Let me know what you guys think about this article. Comment below. I like to hear your feedback. It means a lot to me when you guys comment below. And if you have anything negative to say, make sure it pertains or it has something to do with what we're talking about. Nobody cares Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Comment below. And if you have any other articles you want me to read, please just put them in the comments. If I find them, I'll read them. Thanks, guys. Bye.